You know, it's funny. Lots of people used to think what made a great raisin bran was just a couple of scoops of raisins. But today, people want more. That's why today's people prefer Post natural raisin bran. Post is different. Look how some raisin brands hide their raisins with sugar. Not Post. These beauties are naturally sweet. And taste these crispy wheat and bran flakes. Fantastic. So don't settle for just any raisin bran. Insist on Post natural raisin bran. Today's people prefer Post.
You know, there's a certain elegance to a cup of Maxwell House instant coffee. Never needs ice cubes. It isn't fizzy, and you don't drink it out of a can. Of course, it's not the kind of thing that you gulp down with a cheeseburger. But then again, there's more to life than cheeseburgers.
I think a little higher. My head hurts. No painting looks good.
I used to take aspirin or Tylenol, but today I take Advil. Advil contains a non-prescription strength of the medicine in the prescription brand Motrin. Doctors have already recommended Advil over 1 million times. You see, just one Advil is as effective as 2 regular aspirin. Advil got rid of my headache, and it didn't upset my stomach. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
McDonald's is concerned about the problem of missing children. Here are some safety tips you can share with your kids.
There's Ronald McDonald!
Hiya, kids! Let's sing the safety song.
I know my name, my address and phone, so if I get lost, I'll call my home. If a stranger ever comes to me, I won't go near. No, I'll run straight home. That's very clear. We won't forget what to do, Ronald.
Thanks, kids. So long.
Tuesday, Matlock defends a stripper trapped in a setup.
It's driving me crazy.
Can you untwist his most mysterious case?
Only the truth will do.
Matlock. Then Crime Story moves to its regular time.
I have a problem.
Can Luca move up before Torello shuts him down?
You're gonna go straight to the electric chair.
Crime Story, Tuesday.
Next to News 4 New York, an American journalist told him Moscow is back in the West tonight. We'll look at the deal that gave Nicholas Daniloff his freedom. An accused Soviet spy could be set free in return tomorrow. And a defeat for President Reagan tonight on South Africa.
Bail is set in the Central Park sex murder. Police search for a missing Long Island co-ed. Mother's anguish turns to joy as her missing daughters are found alive. And Michael Jackson lends his name to a new line of clothes. Up next.
Have you ever been frustrated because the Noid ruined your pizza? The Noid loves to ruin pizza. Call Domino's Pizza. We avoid the Noid. We keep the Noid out and all the quality in.
Catch our classic special. Until October 19th, ask for a free 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola Classic when you order a large pie.
Everyone knows New York Telephone has low local rates, but our low rates stretch farther than you think. You can call to anywhere in New York City. Westchester, Rockland, Putnam, and part of Orange County. Even some of Connecticut. And clear to the end of Long Island. For 95% of all these calls, New York Telephone costs less than anyone. For business or pleasure, we tie together more than you think, for less than you thought.
Here comes Purelator Courier.
Beep, beep.
There goes Purelator Courier. The Roadrunner works for Purelator Courier. We run rings around the Coyote Courier.
Beep, beep.
Sending something to Boston, Philadelphia, or Washington? Never fear. Use Purelator Near. Got to rush to Miami, Chicago, or L.A.? Be a star. Use Purelator Far. For overnight delivery, call the Roadrunner at Purelator Courier. Dial 1-800-BEEP-BEEP. Your package is just a beep-beep away.
Beep, beep.
Fred Friendly's our guest tomorrow on Live at 5.
This is News 4 New York with Chuck Scarborough and Sue Simmons.
Good evening. The standoff that threatened to derail relations between the world's 2 most powerful nations has been broken.
For 30 days, American reporter Nicholas Daniloff sweated it out in Moscow, accused by the KGB of spying, facing in the extreme possible execution. Tonight, he is in West Germany, safe and free. Gennady Zakharov, the accused Soviet spy whose arrest precipitated the KGB move against Daniloff. Zakharov is still confined to New York, but maybe not for long. Our coverage of Daniloff's freedom and the secret maneuvering to win it begins with the newest member of the News 4 team, Tony Guida.
Before a cheering campaign crowd in Kansas City, President Reagan told the world Nick Daniloff was free.
A Lufthansa airline liner left Moscow, bound for Frankfurt, West Germany, and on board are Mr. and Mrs. Nicholas Daniloff.
Several hours later, Daniloff was back in the West, telling reporters in Frankfurt, West Germany, he was relieved to be out of the Soviet Union, but angry to have been charged.
A case was fabricated against me for the narrow political purpose of giving the Soviet Union some political leverage over the case of Gennady Zakharov in New York.
In the United States, Daniloff's children were delighted.
I was really overjoyed when I heard the news.
Where were you at the time?
I was in my dorm.
Miranda Daniloff said she hoped her father's release would not turn out to be an even trade.
Well, I would be concerned, number one, for his honor and his reputation. Be concerned about the way he would feel about that. I know that that is something he is concerned about. But quite frankly, this is my father we're talking about, and he's home, and that's all that counts.
The deal to free Daniloff was worked out during 4 private meetings between Secretary of State George Shultz and Soviet Foreign Minister Eduard Shevardnadze in New York the past week. Terms of the deal are not confirmed, but this appears to be the outline. Daniloff is freed as an independent event with no conditions. Gennady Zakharov, the accused Soviet spy, is expected to make a court appearance tomorrow in New York when he could change his plea to no contest. Zakharov would likely be released later for Soviet dissidents, but Andrei Sakharov is not expected to be one of them. This superpower showdown began August 23rd in New York when Gennady Zakharov was arrested for spying. 7 days later, the Soviets arrested Daniloff in Moscow. Throughout, President Reagan insisted there could be no swap. Today, when asked if this deal meant he blinked, Reagan said no. News 4 learned late tonight from Justice Department officials that Zakharov could plead guilty tomorrow and be set free for time already served. Meantime, both Shultz and Shevardnadze are scheduled to hold news conferences tomorrow to shed more light on the deal that was struck today. Sue, Chuck?
Welcome back, Tony.
Thank you.
Tonight, with Daniloff free and on his way home, all eyes are focused on accused Soviet spy Gennady Zakharov. Both Soviet and U.S. officials have refused to comment on what exact deal is in the works. But despite the silence, a crucial step has already been taken that could send Zakharov home at any time. Mike Taibbi reports.
Gennady Zakharov may now be spending his final hours at the Soviet residential compound in Riverdale. This is a place where security has always been insistent, but it's tightened a notch further in the 2 weeks since the accused spy was brought here. And if any of its residents were relieved that the heat-seeking drama will soon be over, they did not show it. May I ask you a quick question?
No.
And how soon might Zakharov be allowed to leave this compound? Well, beyond simple logic and all the rumors that have been flying, the answer is that it could happen very soon. A Soviet source told me tonight that reporters from the Soviet news agency TASS were informed by Moscow this afternoon that Zakharov's passport, correspondence card, and other personal papers were returned to him this afternoon, only hours after Nicholas Daniloff touched down in West Germany. And who is the man who has remained out of sight while his fate has been debated by the 2 most powerful governments in the world? He was one of the faceless hundreds who worked for the Soviet UN mission. His nominal assignment, science and technology. In fact, the arrest of the 39-year-old physicist came as an absolute shock to the Americans who perhaps knew him best, his landlords in the Riverdale apartment he'd rented for 3 years.
As far as we saw, he led lives like any other family, and didn't seem at all suspicious or anything. Seems like a very nice guy.
But the FBI and Brooklyn's U.S. attorney claimed after Zakharov's arrest to know differently. They say he'd spent 3 years recruiting a Queens College student, paying him first to gather unclassified documents from libraries, and finally, on a Queens subway platform on August 23rd, paying him $1,000 for classified documents relating to a developmental jet engine. Only the student had long since contacted the FBI, and the first salvo in what became a superpower drama had been fired. Conservatives are already carping about the implications of a Daniloff-Zakharov exchange.
We don't want to set up a system where every time we seize a real spy, they seize an innocent hostage, and then we swap them.
But it's been widely reported today that the United States will save face by gaining the release of other Soviet dissidents, perhaps including 68-year-old geneticist David Goldfarb. Goldfarb's son, Alexander, a Columbia University professor, told News 4 earlier this month that his father refused 2 years ago to set up Nick Daniloff in a phony spy caper, and as partial punishment has been denied a visa to come to the U.S. for needed medical care. Well, the full list of Soviet dissidents who might be released will probably be made public tomorrow. As for Gennady Zakharov, well, the next time we actually hear from him, it might well be on a dub from Soviet television, where he will no doubt be lionized as the innocent physicist traded for the American spy. That is because he could be moved quickly, and as Tony reported before, perhaps by tomorrow morning. Sue, Chuck?
Thank you, Mike.
Well, amid the Daniloff hurrahs tonight, there is a major foreign policy defeat for the president. The House voted to override his veto of sanctions against South Africa. The vote was 313 to 83, a rejection of Mr. Reagan's last-minute offer for limited measures against the apartheid regime.
It seems to me that the president's position in opposition to this legislation is an act of incredible moral arrogance and supreme political cynicism.
Democrats control the House. The battle now shifts to the Republican-controlled Senate, where the majority leader there, Bob Dole, admits it's pretty tough finding votes to back President Reagan's veto. Sue?
A judge has set bail for the accused Central Park strangler. Robert Chambers could walk free for $150,000 bail. Chambers, who says he killed Jennifer Levin accidentally, fidgeted in court. Jennifer's mother cried. The defendant went back to Rikers as his family tries to make bail.
The family is indeed of modest means, and unfortunately this amount right now will be very difficult, if impossible, for them to meet.
Jennifer Levin's family had written the judge saying they were astonished bail was even considered. The defense offered 40 letters attesting to Chambers' character. The prosecutor said in court that Chambers is wanted for a police lineup in connection with some burglaries. His alleged cohort goes on trial soon on other charges, attempted murder and rape.
Where are they?
Still ahead on News 4 tonight, a mother's anguish turns into tears of joy as her 2 missing daughters are found alive. Gloria Rojas reports. Another smoky fire down below forces the evacuation of hundreds of subway riders. And we'll see if the new line of Michael Jackson clothing is a thriller when News 4 New York continues in a moment.
Some people come to Italy for our magnificent art and our pasta. Some come for our incomparable music and our gelato, while others wish only to drink in our matchless scenery and our wine. No other country gives you so much to see, to hear, to feel, and to eat. Italy, there's more to it.
A lot of New Yorkers turned here for classified advertising, but now things are changing. A hot new classified section is coming through. Daily News Classified is way up this year. More jobs, more real estate, more cars, more of everything. On Sunday and Monday, get this new pull-out section of Daily News Classified. And every day, catch on, catch on, catch on to New York's fastest-growing classified section, the Daily News, New York's hometown paper.
Buongiorno. I'm the world's greatest race car driver. Recently, I had a little problem here at Monte Carlo. So I switched to this $200,000 Formula Isuzu. It comes with driving gloves and a pit crew, all standard. It's so fast, it will go from Paris to Rome in 2 minutes. And the bank gave me 5.9% financing just because they like my face.
The Isuzu Impulse, now for a limited time with 5.9% financing.
Europe is a bargain if you know where to shop. TWA gives you a jolly good bargain to London. Or Barcelona, the beauty of Spain for a great price. Paris, what a bargain Paris is. Or the splendor of Rome for less than you've dreamed. And when 2 or more travel together, you get a free Hertz rental car. Plus, at select hotels, a free night for everyone paid for. So call your travel agent or TWA.
Today's TWA.
Find out how good we really are.
First things first.
Solgar vitamin supplements.
In Newark tonight, 2 little girls are back home after living a nightmare. They vanished 4 days ago on their way to school. And after days of worry and anguish, they were reunited with their family. Tonight, police have charged 2 men with abducting them. Gloria Rojas reports.
A roaring welcome for 9-year-old Felicia Bailey and her 7-year-old sister, Fatima. The 2 young sisters abducted as they walked to school last Thursday morning. Early this afternoon, they were found in a trunk in a New York apartment.
If it wasn't for our prayers, this wouldn't have never happened.
What did you think when you finally saw Mommy?
I feel fine. I feel happy.
The call came in to the girl's mother, Sandra Bailey, this afternoon. We found the kids, and they're alive. After 4 days, everyone had feared the worst.
I worried more and more as the days went by because they could have been further away.
But 30-year-old Eli Cooper is under arrest. He knew the girls because his aunt is their neighbor. Along with Cooper, 25-year-old James Morrison was also charged after police went to Cooper's apartment on a tip.
When I opened the door and entered the room, I observed a trunk inside the wall, and the top of the trunk raised up, and when both the children saw me, they started crying.
The children are tired. This wasn't the time to ask them about specifics. They've endured an ordeal of over 100 hours, followed by hospital examinations and questions by police. Their answers will determine the charges. Gloria Rojas, News 4, New Jersey.
Newark police say tests released late today showed the girls had not been sexually abused.
On Long Island tonight, police have launched a massive search for a 17-year-old who was the daughter of a Nassau County police officer. Kathleen Holland is a student at C.W. Post College. She was last seen on campus late Saturday night. Today, about 75 officers searched the area for any clues about where she might be. Now, the case has the police baffled, and it also has students on the campus scared.
We have received no word on Miss Holland. We have received cooperation from all the students as well as the administration.
And it's been sort of scary. The resident people at our buildings have been telling us not to walk around by ourselves, always go with a friend everywhere, even in the daytime. This has been pretty scary.
Nassau County Police have set up a special missing persons hotline for anybody who might have any information about Holland's disappearance. The number to call is area code 516-746-1111. That's 746-1111. All calls, of course, will be kept confidential. Tomorrow is Kathleen Holland's 18th birthday.
Heavy smoke at Times Square forced the evacuation of hundreds of subway riders this morning. 14 people were sent to area hospitals because of the smoke and minor injuries. A fire in the undercarriage of one car in a northbound QB train caused power to be turned off. That stranded 5 trains between 14th and 59th Streets. Passengers were evacuated by means of a catwalk to the street. And in southern New Jersey this morning, a bus carrying gamblers to Atlantic City rammed into the rear of a tractor trailer. 40 people were injured, 7 of them seriously. The accident happened on I-295 near the Delaware Memorial Bridge. The bus was carrying about 50 people from Washington to the Golden Nugget Casino in Atlantic City.
Up next, as we continue, more injuries at the Jets and Giants camps.
Marv has the latest on the Battle of the Batters in the American League.
Only an Audi is pure Audi. And now it's even easier to experience all the technical innovations, classic design, luxury, and performance an Audi has to offer. For a limited time, your local Audi dealer has a great incentive to make you an exceptional deal on any 1986 Audi. See your Audi dealer soon. Because while attractive deals on interest rates are nice, an attractive deal on an Audi is even nicer.
Every day, people discover how much the New York Times can add to their day by making it a little less confusing, helping with an important decision, or just making choices a little easier. The Times gives you the options to help you cope with a changing world. And while it may not always make your day, it can make any day more interesting, more satisfying, and more enjoyable. The New York Times. It adds life to your life.
Hi, we applied for a loan. We want to know if you got it.
These things take time.
You got an answer on our loan yet?
These things take time.
Any news on our loan?
These things take time.
Next time, apply for that loan at Marine Midland. We'll make sure you have your answer in less than a day. We reward our people who make an extra effort to serve you better.
These things take time.
Think about it. You can make it happen with Marine.
Now here's your burger, and
Sometimes brakes can give you a gentle hint that they need a little work.
Take it to Midas.
Over 4 million people have trusted their brakes to Midas. Good price, good guarantee. We won't break you.
Whoops.
Take it to Midas.
Whoops, huh?
Take it to someone you trust.
How did we get to Nairobi? The civilized way. Swiss Air.
Swiss Air from New York, the civilized way to the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're just kicking around here what the Yankees could possibly salvage from the season. I think Marv has more to say about that.
Yes, he does. Is it Boggs? Will it be Mattingly? What is the answer?
Well, we'll get to the bottom of that. First of all, at the stadium, a good night for the Yanks. Not so, though, for Don Mattingly, with Wade Boggs pulling 5 points in front. Yankees did beat the Blue Jays 8-1 to move into second place by a half game for what that is worth. In the fourth inning, Ron Kittle connected for this monster home run. Overall, his 21st of the season. It carries out near the Monuments. Yanks lead 2-0. In a 5-run seventh, Dave Winfield with a base hit, 2-run single, 101 RBIs for Winfield, his 5th straight season of 100 or more. Yankee record Joe DiMaggio, 7 straight years. And Mattingly went 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly and an intentional walk. Rasmussen all the way. He is now 17-6. Meanwhile, at Fenway in Boston, Red Sox over the Orioles 7-5, and Boggs had himself a 2 for 4. Now here is Wade in the second inning, and he will go to the gap. This is a 2-run double for Boggs. 2 for 4. He's now 353, while Mattingly with the 0 for 3 drops to 348, so Boggs is 5 points in front. Also of note tonight, Bert Blyleven of the Twins gave up a home run to an Indians rookie by the name of Jay Bell, Bell's first major league at bat. 47th home run given up by Blyleven, a major league record. He'd been tied with Robin Roberts, who gave up 46 back in 1956 with the Phillies. Phillies and Cubs tonight involved in an oddity. Mike Maddox pitching for the Phils. Now, he lasted only 3 innings, and brother Greg Maddox pitching for the Cubs. First time, Al, in baseball history, 2 brothers who are rookies faced each other. And the Cubs with Greg beat the Phils. Amazing, beat the Phils with brother Mike by the score of 8-3. Mets off today. They're home for Montreal tomorrow night. Monday Night Football in St. Louis in the third quarter. Cowboys lead the Cardinals 17-7. Giants play at St. Louis next Sunday. It's expected Joe Morris will return. He was back at practice today, but there were a couple of injuries in yesterday's close call comeback win over the New Orleans Saints. Lionel Manuel suffering strained knee ligaments on this play. A late hit from Antonio Gibson. Manuel could be headed for injured reserve, and it could have been even worse for Mark Collins, losing his helmet on this play, and helmetless, he was walloped. Teammate Harry Carson was visibly upset.
The guy could have had, anything. I mean, brain damage or something, and, those kind of things, you try to avoid those things. Sure. It could have been an accident, but, in my estimation, I feel like it was intentional, because, the guys who hit him, they got up with a smile on their face.
Collins suffered a slight concussion, but might be okay for next Sunday. The Jet injury report, center Joe Fields, sprained knee. He'll be out 3 weeks. Guy Bingham will take over, and an offensive lineman will be added to the roster. Fields, the team captain, a major loss. And running back Dennis Blygen will be out 2 weeks with a sprained knee. Now, yesterday's game in Indianapolis was dreadful, but the Jets will take it, a 26-7 win over the horrendous Colts. The big bright spot, strong game for the defense, bouncing back from last week's 45-point affair with Miami. I talked about this with Jets defensive coordinator Bud Carson.
The thing you really get is a lot of young guys find out that they're not, particularly back in the secondary, that they're not hopeless, that they've got that there is some hope for them to get better and not come back and give Marino 6 more touchdowns next time.
In effect, Bud Carson says, let's see what the secondary can do against a quality quarterback. Yesterday, rookie Jack Trudeau was hardly the test. Next Sunday, there will be a test. The Jets going up against Jim Kelly and Buffalo. And a flashback of note on this 29th day of September 29th, 1954. New York Giants, Cleveland Indians in the World Series at the Polo Grounds. One of the memorable catches of all time, Vic Wirtz of the Indians. Long drive, but it is Willie Mays with the over-the-shoulder catch. Giants go on to beat the Indians 5-2 in 10 this game won with the Giants going on to sweep the Indians. UPI coaches poll out tonight. Miami now number 1. Oklahoma drops to number 6. That's sports. Back to Chuck and Sue.
Thanks, Marv.
Up next, Al Roker says summer's comeback continues.
And Michael Jackson lends his famous name to a new line of clothing. Stay tuned.
Liz Claiborne Fragrance. A great mood to be in.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
This year, as in years past, the United States Auto Club conducted a nationwide study to determine which leading car rental company has the best conditioned cars. Hundreds of cars were tested. Over 36,000 individual items were inspected, from brakes to ashtrays. And for the 4th time, National Car Rental beat Hertz, Avis, and Budget, hands down. National Car Rental, #1 in car condition.
Introducing Wendy's new Big Classic hamburger.
This is the good stuff.
The soft Kaiser bun, the fat tomatoes.
This is the good stuff.
The fresh toppings, the beef.
This is the good stuff.
Wendy's new Big Classic.
One bite, one taste, one look, you'll see. This is the one the other burgers wanna be. This is the good stuff.
Wendy's new Big Classic.
Can't get enough. This is the good stuff.
The U.S. is a bargain if you know where to shop. And the best place is today's TWA. We've got low airfares to terrific cities all over the U.S. And TWA has great bargains on the ground, too. Like our Travel Value Pack. 48 pages of money-saving coupons for great deals on rental cars, restaurants, hotels, and much more in select cities. So call your travel agent or today's TWA.
Today's TWA.
Find out how good we really are.
8 long years of development have created the Mercedes-Benz 300E. It moves from 0 to 55 in a stunning 7.5 seconds. It moves performance sedan engineering into a new dimension. And it returns to 0 with computerized ABS anti-lock brakes. The 300E sedan.
Tonight, the weather report is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz.
Chicago. It is known as the Windy City, but after the last couple of days, it might just take on an extra nickname. Severe thunderstorms have battered the suburbs just north of Chicago. In Lake County, Illinois, flooding has caused an estimated $25 million. Illinois Governor James Thompson has declared the county a disaster area. And what we have heading our way, would you like something in the 80s for tomorrow, maybe?
Sure, why
How about
not?
the 90s?
Sure, why not?
Well, we're getting close, right?
We are, because, of course, Sue is a woman of the 80s, as we are. Not women of the 80s, but people of the 80s. And, but before we get to that, an incredible amount of video. As you see, this is from Jasper County, Iowa. Just amazing. A farmer had his home destroyed, got his home video camera, and got this video of the tornado and the lightning that was associated with it. Several homes destroyed. Luckily, nobody injured. Well, as far as our weather is concerned, we may see some records destroyed over the next couple of days, especially with this heat wave coming this way. Mike Heron and Jason Morgese getting the video for us. As we check our statistics, 78 degrees, the high for the day, the overnight low dipping back to 64. Temperature right now at 72, with the winds coming out of the southwest, breezy at about 13, relative humidity 82% in the barometer right now, steady 30.16. Satellite picture, you can see heavy thunderstorms from Missouri all the way stretching on up into Michigan as a frontal system tries to get its way in here, but it is being blocked by this area of high pressure. This same area of high pressure that's bringing winds up from the southwest, so we are going to have a very mild night tonight, mid to upper 60s. Then tomorrow we look for more heat and humidity building in. Temperatures tomorrow approaching the mid to upper 80-degree range. Some areas in central and southern New Jersey could see temperatures as high as 90 degrees. So it looks like a warm one until this cool front gets in sometime Wednesday or Thursday. Forecast for you for tonight, patchy fog, mid to upper 60s for the lows under partly cloudy to clear skies. Tomorrow morning, partly sunny, breezy, upper 60s to the low 70s. The remainder of the day tomorrow, record was 88 back in 1905. We will probably tie it, maybe even break it, mid to upper 80s, breezy, partly sunny. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy again and mild, mid to upper 60s to about 70. The 5-day forecast for you on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, mixture of clouds and sun, some showers, high on Wednesday, 85, then in the mid-70s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So it's enough to make your dancing feet get unhappy. Chuck and Sal?
Yeah, well, speaking of dancing feet, Michael Jackson has put his label in a new line of clothing. They were shown off tonight at the Palladium. Jackson gets $18 million for lending his MJ to the, quote, macho, aggressive designs for boys, girls, and juniors. The man behind Gloria Vanderbilt jeans, Warren Hurst, created the MJ concept, and Michael helped.
Just talk, and he said yes, he said no, and he gave me some of his ideas. Secondly, we gave him sketches of everything that was going to be in the line, and he approved it or disapproved it.
Michael Jackson clothes will be in the stores in December. $18 million for putting his name on it.
Yes, he said no, he gave him his ideas and picked up $18 million.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Well, let's try it.
What do you think we'd get?
0.
See you tomorrow.
Good night.
They're coming.
The all-new Toyota FX16s with 16 valves of twin-cam fun. Only the competition need be afraid.
Avery, get to Tokyo and meet Matsumoto as fast as you can. Right?
United Airlines flies non-stop to Tokyo every day.
Avery, forget Tokyo. Hong Kong. Right?
Or Hong Kong every day.
Hong Kong?
Yep. No.
Osaka.
Right.
And Osaka every day. United daily to Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Osaka.
You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
Mr. Avery, please pick up the United Courtesy phone.
Mom, what would you say to someone who didn't watch Phil Donahue every day?
Why would you even get involved with someone like that?
Donahue's more than a show. It's a relationship. Weekdays at 4 on 4.
You can feel it. A fast start, quick response, and smooth performance.
Running smooth and silent. Exxon, Exxon.
Try Exxon Extra Premium. Its powerful detergent additive XCL12 can clean fuel injectors in as little as a single tankful, while its high-octane power formula keeps you running smooth.
Running with the tiger. Exxon.
This morning, we did something I never thought we'd be able to do. We ordered a CD from American Savings Bank by phone. Jennifer dialed the number, didn't you? Oh, don't be shy. It was amazing. It was like ordering a pizza or something. Hello? Give me a CD, no anchovies. Thank you. That's all a part of what American Savings Bank calls private banking for everybody. And in our humble opinion, if your bank doesn't offer it, well, it's positively un-American. Right? Right. Right. I told you shy.
This has been a presentation of News 4 New York.
Fred Friendly's our guest tomorrow on Live at 5.
And now, stay tuned for the best of Carson.